Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and we are diving into a new movie review. I just saw the film Bros and we need to talk about this LGBT romantic comedy. There's a lot of good and there's some pretty bad moments to it as well. Well, not bad, just not that great. Yes, enough of this intro. Let's talk about the film Bros. Bros is definitely one of those movies that has split me down the middle. This is basically two reviews in one. On one hand is my more positive review, where I do think this movie is an accomplishment. It does have some humorous moments, and overall I'm just happy it exists and Billy Eichner gets this position. On the other hand, I do think it's a pretty generic romantic comedy, almost too generic for what they were trying to do. I also find some of the LGBT aspects to be surface level. I wanted them to get a bit deeper, and honestly, for a raunchy kind of adult mainstream comedy, I thought Fire Island. I think so many other films have pushed the boundaries more than I expected this one to. It's just kind of flat in a lot of ways. It's just kind of bland, but that will come with an asterisk as romantic comedies aren't normally my thing. So let's go over to the more positive side. What do I feel about Bros? I do think this is quite the achievement. Nicholas Stoller, who is a director we'll talk about in a moment, but he is teaming up with Billy Eichner to co-write and direct this film. Billy Eichner is the star and, as like I said, co-writer, and really is kind of the driving force of this movie. He is that central main character. He is our romantic comedy lead character that we have to follow as he tries to fall in love. There is a lot of oh, well, that's cute. I love Billy Eichner getting this position. His stuff with Luke Macfarlane is great. I prefer his stuff with his friend group a lot more, especially when I get Ts Madison in this movie. Wow, Ts, you are amazing on this level. We need to hire her in more films. But anyways, going back to the Billy Eichner of it all, I'm just happy this movie exists. We have almost all of them. I think actually everyone LGBTQ cast. There is queer people, trans people, there is queer people playing straight people. It's a delight to see. It's really an achievement, and I'm happy a major studio went with this. I will say I'm happy a major studio went with a fairly kind of out there romantic comedy with some gay stuff that does get a bit raunchy. There's a grinder hookup that I was just this is real. This is accurate. Now my straight friends get to see what gay culture was like before I got into a relationship. Yeah, I like a lot of that's the idea of this. A lot of them wow, okay. This is what I've been wanting to see, queer content kind of pushed to a broader audience. Now let's jump to the negative side with that broader audience comment, because wow, this definitely feels like it is made for the widest, most mainstream thing, which is good, but as a queer man, a lot of the jokes feel stale. A lot of the jokes feel not as edgy or thought-provoking or as boundary-pushing as things I make around my house with my stepbrother and my boyfriend. We all just make a bunch of crazy-ass jokes, and I feel like this didn't capture that true, wow, I can't believe they just said it. I wanted, if y'all know the rapper Cupcake, I wanted Cupcake lyrics in this movie, basically, but it just got there. There was little moments that were there, but it never went fully there, and I wanted to see this push boundaries, go really, oh my goodness, especially when it comes to the romantic comedy plot. I know that's just going to be a me thing, and I like them here or there, but for me, this was too basic, too trope-filled, too been there, done that of a romantic comedy plot for it to be anything other than just okay. Bros follows Bobby Lieber, played by Billy Eichner, as he ventures into the gay world. He's a pretty confident, in certain aspects, out gay man, but he has a lot of self-doubting. He's a very critical of a lot of things around him. I understand that fully. I like the Bobby character. There's a lot that I can relate to. I kind of wish he just had a better movie around him. So he's venturing out, trying to find love, and meets a guy named Aaron, played by Luke Macfarlane. I liked their early connections, and we start seeing that they're from very different worlds and how that could mix together. The gay community isn't just Lady Gaga loving queens, and it's not just broy, like, bathhouse, like, Folsom Street kind of dudes. There is straight guys, or, more straight acting ones. There's more just kind of broy ones. There's crazy musical theater ones. There's horror loving ones. It's a spectrum, and I like that this movie does dive into it. And that's what these two characters are learning, that they are from different worlds. Even though they both identify as gay, they're coming from different worlds, and how they meet, how they mix together, how Bobby just has to deal with his daily life of trying to start an LGBT history museum. The poor baby, like, dealing with the people he has to deal with, like Jim Rash's very aggressive "I am bisexual and we need our awareness" person. It was genius. I loved a lot of the trans characters. I love Ts Madison. I loved Guillermo Díaz as the one straight married couple who is very accepting of, like, the straight world. I like that, or the gay stuff. I like that. I thought that was cute. And then there's moments that I'm just like, all right, we're almost 2 hours in, and I'm now starting to predict it. Every turn of this movie, every little, oh that, even when they try to subvert your expectations, it's still exactly what you would think. I just wish this had a stronger story. We're going to talk about that in the next section of maybe a more, a boundary-pushing director could have helped this out. I love that it's, like, from who it's from, but this could have been a lot more edgier in the story department. Produced by Judd Apatow from Universal, with director Nicholas Stoller in the driver's seat. Yeah, that's where this movie was still straight at its core. I wanted a more experimental director, a more thought-provoking kind of, a more queer lens on this. I think that's why I keep looking at the film Fire Island this year. It feels like it's exactly what I wanted this to be. While it's still a bit of a basic romantic comedy, it's that very Pride and Prejudice story, it still had a more queer lens. This feels so straight at times. And I know the guy who did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, and produced some Muppet movies, wow, made a pretty, like, focused film that doesn't feel as gay as it could. Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. And even if he was a gay dude, there's still some very studio vibes to this. It's still a very palatable film. And maybe I don't want that. Maybe I'm starting to get to a point where I appreciate queer content for trying to be more mainstream, but sometimes we're not mainstream. Sometimes we don't need to sell ourselves as this, hello, everyone should love us, aren't we just like you? Which is kind of a message in this movie. And I wanted that to kind of go further of, like, we're not like you. We are not like you. So why are we making a movie that is something that I would have seen in 1999 starring Julia Stiles, or something in more adult, like a Hugh Grant film? What are we doing? I needed something a bit edgier with this. I wanted to see more shocking sex scenes, more frank conversations of the community. I'm not saying go Ryan Murphy route. Like, I'm not saying I want queer exploitation or anything, but I just wanted a more personal vibe to this, a more specific, focused vision, a message for this. Not like a woke message or anything, but just a message of what the thesis statement of this movie was. I really didn't get it. Maybe that's just on me, but I didn't get this what this movie was trying to say, and I just kind of wish that this had a more fun queer backing to it. Now that I've angered the straight people and probably the gay people, who knows who I have to support me, but what did you guys think of this review? What do you guys think of Bros? I appreciate a lot of this movie. I did laugh and had my giggles when I needed to have my giggles, but overall I was just a bit let down. I do think that's a bit of the hype that is very strong for this, and yay, but I'm just kind of like, oh, that's cool, but what did you guys think? What's your feelings? Did you like Bros? Do you want to see more content like this? Or would you like to see more edgy, boundary pushing, a bit more pointed queer visions in your LGBT content? Share your feelings down in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week. And give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Alright everyone, let's talk about Bros down below.